Your clarity is being clouded by your low expectations. You've got this hidden, subconscious, internal identity that's sabotaging all of your efforts to have, be, and do more. And until you decide that you deserve more and expect more from your life and from yourself, you're going to stay stuck in this endless, frustrating fight of wanting more, but just never being able to get it and constantly fighting for clarity. So the first thing I want you to consider is this question: why don't you have more? When you take a look at your life and you look at the level of your relationships and your level of health and feeling connection, looking at your finances, looking at your health, looking at your productivity, your results, your romance, all of those things, when you have a look at those things and you maybe score them out of 10, tell me why you don't have more in those things. Why is there not more happiness, more health, more fulfillment, more connection in each of those key life areas? Now, the truth is, most of us are never trained or asked to think about those questions. We sort of go through our life just doing what we think is the next thing. So often we don't get kind of driven to consciously create something. We're often in a reaction mode when we set goals. Like when we decide we want to lose weight, it's because we put on weight. When we decide we need to look at our relationship, it's because our relationship has turned sour. When we want to make more money in our business, it's because suddenly we're not earning the money, or maybe we didn't make the money in the first place. But I want to ask you to consider how we can actually, in the first instance, create from where we're at right now without it being like a reactionary response. Unfortunately, most people have low expectations for their life and for themselves. We often say that we want more, but actually we're not prepared to do what it takes to get more. And very often we're in a world now where when we decide to make change, it's from a reactionary point of view. So we decide to lose weight because we got fat. We decide to look at our relationship because we're not talking to each other anymore and there's no intimacy left. We decide to go get a new job or training something because we would rather pull our eyeballs out than go to that job for another day. We're not taught from an early age to really create something from a positive space. It tends to be from recognizing that something's not right in the first place. Now, I happen to think that there's lots of definitions of clarity which actually hold people back. And one of the things that I find is that people are looking for clarity. They're waiting for clarity to arrive, like, da-da, I'm here. And that doesn't generally tend to happen. So in order for you to get greater clarity, and so that you can actually see tangible results, tangible progress, I want to just ask you to consider a couple of the following questions, and then I'm going to invite you to do a declaration of deserving. Because expectations and deserving, they go hand in hand. And I want to help you to raise those now so you can access the clarity that you need, so that you can refine the actions that you need to take and get those results sooner rather than later. So there's a 3-step process. The first thing I want you to think about is that question that I asked you before. Why don't you have more? Just go and have a look at the key life areas. Have a look at the relationships that you have, both with your spouse, with your family, with your children, with friends and family. Have a look at your finances, and not just what's in the bank, but how do you feel about money? Do you invest money? Do you save money? Do you spend money? Have a look at your financial status. How do you feel in your career or in your business? What about your level of health, vibrancy? And I'm talking mental, physical, and spiritual. Do you feel connected to something that's bigger than you, that, like a universal source or, a creator? Have a look at those key life areas. And ask yourself very specifically, why don't I have more in those areas? Whatever that more looks like to you, why don't I have more? And I want you to just spend some time journaling on that. Write it out. And here's the thing. You've got to be honest with yourself. If you know you've been lazy and you've been meaning to change in those areas for a really long time and haven't done it, you need to declare that. So this is your opportunity to be really real and lay everything out as you need to lay it out. The next question that sort of comes in with that one is, what are the beliefs and the behaviours that have led to that, right? So really identifying them so that it's not just, well, it could be this or it might be that. I want you to get really clear. What are the beliefs and the behaviours that are causing the action or non-action that are leading into this life that's less than a level 10? Next thing I want you to have a look at is, what do you really want? Now, we're not looking for superficiality here. We're not looking for you to write down the success life that belongs to somebody else. You know, the houses, the cars, the boats, the community. Like, if that's what you want, great. But if that's not you, I want you to think about what's really important to you at this stage in your life, and what does it look like for that to be a level 10. Maybe you want more, what you really crave is more time freedom, so you can spend more time with your partner or your children, or you can spend more time studying or experiencing the world. Maybe what's really important to you now is that you're at a time in your life when you want to experience the best health that you've ever been in. Maybe you want to spend more time with your parents. Maybe you want to, flip 180 and do something completely different to what you've been doing before. So really just get clear on what it is that you want. What does that look like? And it will be really super helpful as well if you just ask yourself the question, why is this important to me? Because sometimes it's easy for us to write down what success looks like, but we don't have that emotional attachment. And that's another reason why we lack clarity, because we're striving after something when we haven't got attached to the actual emotion that we're trying to generate with that. And then I want to encourage you then to write out what I call a declaration of desire and deserving. Because here's the thing, isn't that word desire so amazing? I'd much prefer it to the word goal. It means so much to me. Like, I desire this, because for me that feels very heartfelt. And this is where we start to declare, this is what I truly desire. This means something to me. This isn't me just writing a list out because someone's told me to do it. I am, perhaps for the first time in my life, getting really super clear on what it is that I really want. What lights my fire? What if I knew I could go out and achieve that would make such a difference to my life? So we're going to write out a declaration of desire, and we're going to match that and intertwine that with this declaration of deserving. Because the low expectations we have are just based on a subconscious belief system that has been installed for us that says you don't deserve more. Right? You don't deserve to have more. You don't deserve to have this and it be easy. You don't deserve to have this and this. You can have one or the other. Of course, on the other side of that is sometimes we want it. We just don't want to have the challenge and the fear that goes alongside that. But that's for another video. So I want to give you an example of some of the stuff that I wrote out on my declaration of deserving and desire. So I declare that I deserve a level 10 life. I deserve it because I am an amazing human being. I deserve it because I'm made in the likeness of the universal matrix, and therefore I am limitless in potential and possibility. I desire the abundance to experience my best life, to travel, to experience culture, to take my children around the world so they can experience the university of life. I desire copious amounts of magical conversations, mind-blowing sex, premium clients, time freedom. I desire a life that excites me every morning when I wake up. I desire the deepest connection with those that I love. I desire the fact that I think intrinsically every day about how I can make an impact on somebody else's life through service or through conversation. Do you see what I mean? So I want you to just to riff it all out, and then what I would love for you to do is almost make it into something that would almost be like a scroll that you can then put next to your bed, in your journal, so you can reach it and read it every morning. And when you read it, I want you to read it with that level of intention and emotion that I've just kind of started reading out to you. Even if it feels a little bit weird at first, the more you read it, and that repetition of emotion and the repetition of language, you're going to start to rewire some of the old self-limiting narrative that's inside your head right now. So I hope you found that helpful. Let me just recap those 3 things for you. Number 1, answer the question honestly. Why don't I have more right now? Looking at your key life areas, why are you where you're at? What are the beliefs and behaviours that are keeping you at that level? What do you really want? What do you really desire? What's really important to you at this time in your life? And why do you deserve that? Then I want you to go off and I want you to write your declaration of desire and deserving. And I'd love for you to share that on social media. Instagram would be awesome. Hashtag it your rich life and hashtag it declaration of deserving. Let me see those pictures. That would be so awesome. And just have fun with it, because, you know, it doesn't need to be serious going after our desires. We need to raise the energy around that. So as I say, let me know, share it on social media, and if you like this YouTube clip, make sure you subscribe below, hit the bell button so you're notified of the 3 new videos that I do every week, and why not go ahead and share with somebody else that you think might find this particular episode useful.